It's Father Taylor here, and right now I'm recording. It's about noon on Thursday as we are all about to begin some of the holiest days of the Christian year. Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, we have a service that we've sort of created during our time of COVID that we came up with. We call it the Service of Light, and then Easter. Monday, Thursday was the night that Jesus actually was betrayed. It begins with a dinner together with the disciples, and some significant things happen during that dinner. The word Maundy comes from the Latin word mandare, to command. This was the night in which, among other things, Jesus commanded his disciples to love one another and showed them what he meant by that, not just by having a heart or sending cards, but by actually taking a position that every person is really above you. That's what he did when he washed their feet. Treat every person with that kind of dignity and respect, and for their benefit, to do it for their benefit. That's the washing of feet. He also instituted the sacrament that we call the Eucharist on that night. This bread, which was part of the Passover celebration they were doing, this bread, he said, from here on, I want you to consider this bread is my body, and this wine in that cup, this is my blood. This is my blood of the new covenant. Just as there was a Passover which began a certain covenant and a new creation that started as Israel was released from slavery, so Jesus' death and resurrection bring us into this new relationship with God. Jesus calls the new covenant. So that's all happens on Thursday. So tonight we will have a service which begins with a meal together. We'll just have a very simple meal together. We'll hear some scriptures and we'll say some prayers, and then we will go and participate in the Eucharist and the significant liturgical act that we begin to participate in, called the stripping of the altar. We get to hear Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me? As we see the altar, which we all expect to see lit up in candles, we see that all that taken away, just as Jesus was taken away from us too. Tomorrow night, we celebrate Good Friday, which is a very powerful service, and it has some very powerful readings. It has some prayers, which are called in the prayer book the Solemn Collects. We'll all participate in that. And then on Saturday, we did not have the vigil. We haven't had the vigil since 2019. The vigil, really is a service when it was began as the sun was setting and ended when the sun came up, and rehearsed all kinds of personal stories and then all the story of the salvation of God, and ended with baptism. We've reduced that to a kind of more like Holy Saturday service, where there are elements of the vigil as we hear the light of Christ returning into the darkness of the church. But we're saving the celebration, the big celebration of Easter, not for late Saturday night, but for Sunday morning. So Sunday morning we'll have our Easter celebration, and that will be at 9:15. These are great events to bring people to. I mean, the events of particularly of recent years, people have thought that Good Friday is the most powerful thing we do all year. There's no sermon. Maybe that's why it's so good, but it's a very powerful event, and so great things to bring people to. People who are not even sure, if they're not sure what they believe, people who've been away from church, just everybody. These are very powerful events where we walk in these things together. And it's somehow walking together as opposed to just thinking about it or praying about it. We're walking through them together has a very profound effect on us, and as we come to meet with the Lord. I believe these services are streamed, but I just have to let you know that the services get very dark, and so these are not going to be the same kind of screen quality that you might be used to on a Sunday. They do get dark. There's some good music, some powerful readings. So if you're unable to travel to the church, take advantage of that. But if you are able to travel, I would really hope that you would come and we could participate in this as a community. This is not a thing where in our consumer society, you think like we're going to a thing and then what did I get out of it? No, these are community events that we do together as a community. And so it's very important for us to be together during this time. So anyway, all the times of those events are listed below, and we've been handing out those little cards with the times of events. So take a look below, make sure you get the times, and hopefully, with God's grace, we'll be able to see you. So pray for us and our whole community that we can enter once again deeply into these mysteries of God revealed through Jesus and what he's done. Jesus is the Word made flesh who has dwelt among us. And this is what we see up close and personal during the days of Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and of course on Easter. So hopefully I'll see you this weekend. Thank you.